US President Joe Biden has praised the courage of Turkey's President Erdogan after he dropped his opposition to Sweden's bid to join NATO. For months, Erdogan had insisted Sweden crack down on Kurdish groups. He also got Joe Biden to make good on a pledge to sell Turkey F-16 fighter jets, although the final decision rests, of course, with the US Congress. Well, for more on that, we can go to Istanbul. We're joined by journalist Ayla Yakli. Great to see you, Ayla. Erdogan managed to get a pledge for those F-16s. He's also got Turkey's EU accession bid back on the table. Would you say this was an all-round diplomatic win for President Erdogan?
Well, I think on one hand, yes. As much as Turkey's opposition to Sweden's NATO bid was about pushing Stockholm to crack down on political dissidents that it views as terrorists, it was also about fixing the often tense relationship between Erdogan and Biden. And so not only did Erdogan get this reiteration from Biden that he wants to sell Turkey the F-16s, I think it was really important for him to have this meeting and to appear in front of the cameras with Biden. And he referred to their meeting as a warm-up, hinting that he might even get an invitation to visit the White House soon. At the moment, Biden is the only U.S. president not to invite a Turkish leader to the White House.
Oh, so we might see that visit soon. Erdogan has, of course, refused to take sides in the war in Ukraine. Do you think that this decision may undermine his ties to Moscow?
Russia does seem less than pleased with this pivot that we're seeing from Erdogan, be it on Sweden's greenlighting Sweden's NATO bid, pushing for EU membership again, and as well as purchasing these F-16s. It seems as though Kremlin is trying to pour a bit of cold water on the prospects of the European accession moving forward after this, but they still remain interested very much in keeping Erdogan on their side. I mean, right now, his sort of contrarian stance on so many issues within NATO is something that the Kremlin wants to exploit, especially as it continues this long slog in Ukraine. So they seem to be watching very closely, have expressed some dissatisfaction, but also reiterated the importance that they give to the Turkish relationship.
What about Turkey's place within NATO? Because President Erdogan did put a lot of stress on the organisation when it is facing one of the biggest challenges in decades. Do you think there could be some long-term damage to relations with allies inside NATO?
I think that Erdogan has been in power for so long, he's been 20 years now, that many of them are quite sort of used to, if nothing else, the fact that Erdogan doesn't always seem to be on board with everything. It has been a long year for Sweden, certainly, as it sought to enter NATO, and Erdogan really waited until the very last minute to make sure that, he would allow his parliament to approve ratification. My sense is that whether it's the European Union, whether it's NATO, whether it's the US, they know who they're dealing with when it comes to Erdogan, and that surprise is just part of the package.
Ayla Yakli, thank you very much.
Thank you.